Scott Narver, it's time for another casting call. This time we're going to do The Office.
Oh, Jiggly Bacon, I love these. And you know what's really cool? The Office used to do those cold opens.
Oh, right. Yeah. Like before the theme song.
Yeah, before the show starts, they do this funny bit, and they got everybody excited for the actual episode.
We should do one of those.
Yeah, okay.
You got an idea?
Yeah. Okay, if you... Okay, you're at your computer.
Okay, I get it.
Yeah, and then...
It's funny so far.
Oh, if only we had characters from The Office here.
Okay, well, how about if you come into the... Okay.
Yeah.
You come into the studio.
Okay.
And then we're like in the studio.
Yeah.
I got nothing. Cheers used to do something similar, right?
Oh, Cheers was so good.
God, I wish we were a funny show.
Oh, we should get writers.
Wrestler casting call The Office today on Pro Wrestling Palskis. Hey, Scott Narver.
Hey, Jake Lloyd Bacon.
Hello to everybody out there joining us in the Palski universe.
I saw a Clark Kent Superman transformation just right before the show.
Yeah, I that's true. I flew in the window.
Yep. Into your phone booth.
Took off my tighties.
The Dragon Wagon phone booth.
Yep. Hey, thanks everybody joining us. It says no data on the stream. I hope that doesn't mean that there's no data.
What about Chunk? Mouth? Do we have any Goonies?
Oh, that's right. I was like, no, you're thinking of Star Trek. There we go. It says excellent connection now.
Worf.
That must be working. We are being joined, as always, by the super exclusive patron live stream. If you want to live stream these episodes in real time with us when we record them, we do 2 in a batch, by the way. I don't know if people know that, but we just have like a whole long day. You just hang out with us all day you want. It's really fun.
Yeah.
You get access to that over at the Patreon.
We can do hang out with the Lord in church?
Seriously.
Yawn.
You get access to that over on the Patreon, patreon.com/PWPalskis. We must acknowledge our current PWP champion, Masked Llama of the Legendary Fighting Federation, more importantly, of the Pro Wrestling Palskis Federation.
Yeah.
He will defend that title later on today. It's too late, but it's not too late for next month. So become a patron. Every single tier patron, just $5 a month gets you entrance into that jar. It's not like it used to be. We've opened it up.
Yeah.
It's $2,025. I forgot we were doing that bit. We stopped doing that silly bit.
Yep.
We're also joined.
It's not like us. We usually drive a bit to the ground.
That is true. What's Bookstore's retribution name? We're also joined by Bookstore Brown, who's
Clown Shoes,
one of the pod dogs, who is sitting under the desk right now. And I think it's like, what's the over under on how long until he just starts barking for no reason? He's usually locked out of the studio. 7 minutes. 7 minutes? Okay. He's usually locked out of the studio because he's a barky dog.
Yeah.
But he's been barking outside of the studio to get in.
More whimpering.
Yes, he's a real whiny dog.
Yeah.
Bookstore, you're so whiny. Do you want to come up here and say hi to the people? I'm sure they'd love to see you. You're adoring fans. No, he's just looking at me. He's like, I'll take some more treats though.
I feel the same way.
Sua Psych in the chat says, no data, just short round.
Boom.
Boomed. Scott Narver, what are we doing today?
Today, we are going to our beloved series of Wrestler Casting Call.
Does anybody else like this?
I don't give a fuck.
It's hard. Same.
I don't care. You should. I'll say that. You should.
Yeah. We're going to make wrestlers act in movies and our television shows.
This is the most fun, I think, to be involved in our chat live as we're doing this in the YouTube live stream as we're going, that you want to be involved because this can really sway us. These can be the times like I'm coming in. I got a list. Right. I got some people already in mind. I have not given this forethought, so you are prepared for this one. You came up with this premise for this show. I did last night. I love. But because it is the 20-year anniversary
of the American Office. 20 years ago.
How did you know this? How this information come about to you?
To the internet. I think it was like one of those things where it's like, oh, it's a 20-year anniversary of The Office, blah, blah, blah. And by the way, the American version, 20 years ago, around this time, a bunch of idiots thought they could remake the brilliance of the British
Greg Daniels,
Office.
Conan O'Brien's former writing partner, who he has gone on record saying like, that's a bad idea. Buddy.
Never gonna work. Never gonna work. Somehow made arguably the best American sitcom of all time. I said arguably. Yes,
it's up there. I love Cheers.
Yes, it's hard same. I've been making my way through Cheers, by the way, like from the beginning.
Oh yeah.
It's just like
past Diane yet?
No, she's about to.
Then you're in for a good time.
I love Diane though. I do think it gets. I think Diane is the best in the first and second seasons.
Yeah,
and most of the second season, not all of it. Pretty much like up until Frasier comes in, she's great. And then once Frasier comes in, it's like the character's lost a little bit of its joy.
I love Kirstie Alley so much. Rebecca Howell, that character, it's a great character. Fun.
It's great.
Adds to the chaos.
We're not doing Cheers.
No,
not today.
Not today.
That's to the list. We're going to recast The Office with wrestlers. What are the rules? I can't remember. Is it only current?
Sometimes we've had parameters of like, oh, we want it to be alive. Oh, sometimes like it could be anybody. As I was coming about with this list so far, well, there's one dead one.
Okay. Most of them are all.
I don't know. For this one, I'm gonna say that all bets are off.
So we're gonna go time machine, any era, any person,
any era, because we may end up stumbling across like we may just end up sticking with.
Right.
Maybe they're all alive, but
right.
This one, I'll say all bets are off. And if you feel otherwise, we can certainly say currently alive.
Right. Do you need me to write them down as we do them? Because
if you want for your master list. I've just got mine's kind of gobbledygook.
All right,
I don't know if you'll be able to read this.
Let me pull up in the laptop, and I'll do it on the laptop.
Okay.
The laptop.
Yeah,
because that's what it was originally called,
Sure.
And then
because only a scientist in a lab would use something.
We all got it
like
wrong
this.
So much that companies went, let's just fucking call them laptops.
You put them on your lap.
Ugh.
It's fine. They go on top of your lap. It's a top lap.
All right. Let me just enter my PIN. COTT hot stuff. The problem is that I couldn't multitask saying fake letters and typing real ones. Sure. So I completely butchered getting into my computer just now. It took me like 3 tries.
Did you actually type in what
I started on the O, I started TT. I wrote TT, I typed TT even though it was like 3 letters in. Oh, we have fun in this program. Okay. Let's see. Let me open up let's just make it quick and open up a notepad. Where are we starting here?
Well, I think you got to start at the heart of
we're going
the
to the
office.
Okay, because I feel like sometimes we go the other way, but
yeah. But this one, it's forming it of who's the boss in the office.
That's a completely different sitcom.
What? Who is?
I mean, Santino would be Tony Danza's character.
Yeah, but he's not the boss. Mona is. So I think we got to start with Michael Scott. And this is one that I've been sitting on ever since we started doing these casting calls, that we mentioned like some shows that we do and some movies, that this one, when it clicked hard. And I was like, oh, I can't tell him any time in between. It has to be on the show.
Yeah. This is the first time I'm hearing anything. I'm sorry. Bookstore scared you by falling off of my chair like a dummy.
Yeah.
As a dummy.
So Michael Scott, the boss. Steve Carell plays him in the show. He is someone that is, he's running the office. He's been there for a long time, seemingly knows everything about sales and about paper. Running Dunder Mifflin Scranton is the branch.
Right.
But ultimately, he just wants everyone to be his friend. He wants to be loved. He wants to have all this. He's kind of inappropriate on camera.
Right.
He doesn't really read the room.
He's a ham.
He's an awkward guy. And what he says on camera is really, really strange at times. So I think there's nobody else better than Tony Khan.
Tony Khan, that's a tough sell for me. I get it. But is he actually lovable?
Are friends.
Yeah, that's a good point.
That's what he wants most in life, just like Tony Khan. Michael Scott and Tony Khan are very similar in that way.
But here's the thing,
He's very awkward on camera.
Here's the thing. A defining part of the Michael Scott character is that he is like secretly really good at his job. Does that translate to Tony Khan.
Is he?
Yeah.
Or at times
he crushes. He's a great salesman. He's an excellent salesman. He always closes.
But he's not in sales.
He's got the only successful
He's the boss now.
I know, but he's got the only successful branch.
Right, because everyone else was fucking up.
Okay. All right.
And he was successful. He has multiple TV shows. He's expanded. Tony Khan has expanded left and right. Like he's done the similar things of Michael Scott.
He's taken some employees from other branches that have closed down.
Yep.
All right. Okay. I'm gonna give you I struggle with it only because I love the Michael Scott character and I don't like the Tony Khan character.
Well, that's season 1, you know?
Yeah.
The more you see him, the more you'll love him. But if you got something else.
I don't. I do want to say that Suicide says Chad Gable. And I don't really get it, but I like it. It's one of those ones where it's like the gut reaction goes, that's funny. I don't really know why though.
I don't know if Chad Gable checks any of the boxes
no.
other than just being like a short little guy who maybe has the most similar look to Steve Carell in the world of wrestling.
Yeah, I'm trying to come up with somebody better than Tony Khan.
I picture so many moments in behind the scenes of AEW of him doing Michael Scott things, and everyone's like, he doesn't even fucking know.
Right. I think the only person that I would come up with against that would be R-Truth. Because he just wants everybody to get along. He wants everybody to like him.
Sure.
He's a kind of a buffoon.
But everyone does.
He's been around, but he is lovable. And just like they all do love him. That's my only argument against, but
nobody cringes at R-Truth. Like they're lying when the Judgment Day is like, we don't want you here. Like, yeah, you do.
Sure, that's fair.
You have Carlito.
That's fine.
You guys are liars.
That's fine. Also, there's a level of the patheticness that I could see. I could see Tony Khan putting on a backwards Kangol hat and being Date Tony.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Oh shit! Now it's time for Date Tony.
Yeah, just think of Punk at that press conference and that scrum, and he's just like,
"Alrighty, okay,
Michael, why did you just let him say all those things?
Where do you want to go to next?"
Well,
you know what? Since I just pitched R-Truth as somebody,
yes,
another name just popped in my head attached to him.
Okay.
Creed.
Okay, we're going
R-Truth as Creed, like in that role, in the Creed role.
Okay.
Because he's an old guy who's been around for a while. He's been with the company since before even the current leaders have been there.
Yeah.
He's the only holdover from the old company. Nobody really knows how long he's been there or like everything about him. He says really weird shit and everybody kind of like turns their head to the side.
Yeah.
I kind of think maybe Truth is Creed Bratton. You got a better one?
That might beat out what I got.
Okay.
Because I originally, when I was brainstorming, I'm like, well, something that he says shit that nobody really understands. And I was thinking like Jey Uso. And I'm like, nah.
Right.
Doesn't really fly. And then I was going like, yeah, but he's old. The whole thing, he's old and they don't know how long he's been around.
And we never know when he's telling the truth or he's making something up.
Yeah. Yeah, almost like there's conspiracies. Jesse Ventura.
Jesse Ventura is good, but I think Jesse's too competent. I think Jesse is a little bit too.
Yeah, but watch those Saturday Night's Main Events where, here's the hard camera for him. Fun. And then he's going, and here's another thing that we all did, everybody. And then he's off off camera.
I think it's fun, but I think Truth is better, personally.
I will adhere to your R-Truth as Creed Bratton.
All right. What other characters? Let's see.
Well, we've certainly jumped around here.
Well, yeah. I mean, that was just only because I had the connection to make. We can do it in whatever order you want.
Let's go with that little section.
Which one?
Over there in the office, right? Like I don't remember everyone's.
Okay, you tell me.
I know there's accounting, right? Like off to the side, but Creed's
sales,
whatever
quality control.
Sure.
Yeah.
And then you got Meredith Palmer.
Meredith Palmer sits
with him.
Yep.
So
customer relations.
Is that what she does?
It's changed a bunch, but yeah, and that's why. Also because they had to keep changing her job because she was sleeping with people. Okay, Meredith Palmer. Meredith Palmer is sort of our resident hot mess.
Yeah. Big drinker.
Oh, you brought that up, and now I immediately think I know where you're going.
I'm going off the qualities that this show is going with.
The fact that the first thing that you say was, "Yep, big drinker." I'm like, all right, I know who Scott has in mind.
That
Go ahead.
She's a big drinker,
Go ahead,
that she's always hitting on everybody and making advances that a lot of the people there go like, no, I'm okay. I'm good. Dixie Carter.
Dixie Carter is really good. The only other person I could think of.
Two redheads.
The only other person I could think of. Alicia Fox.
Yeah. And that came up in our Beetlejuice one.
Yeah, I know. But no, Dixie Carter is kind of great. I like that so far you're going exclusively admin.
What do you mean?
Like Tony Khan, Dixie Carter, like you're going like administrators in wrestling.
Because they work in an office.
True. It's true. God, that's funny. Also, the kid, she was talking about her kid, Jakey, becomes a stripper. Not a kid, but a nephew, maybe. Does a little bit of the same kind of vibe, is a little entitled.
He's got a better body.
Right. The only difference is the wealth. Dixie's presented as being wealthy, and Meredith Palmer is presented as being dirt poor.
Dixie's presented as being wealthy, but the truth is,
listen, just money doesn't solve white trash.
Daddy has money.
Yeah.
It's paying energy.
Right.
That's fine. That we're not taking all account of like every part of
as white trash, I could tell you money does not define white trash.
Yeah.
God, that's fun. So anybody else in that? No, nobody else.
That's that little island.
They're both one person departments. Yeah. You want to go to accounting next?
Sure. Let's go to accounting.
Okay. In accounting, we've got Angela, Oscar, and Kevin.
Yeah, Kevin Malone. Kevin Malone, a really oversized guy that every year seemingly says dumber and dumber things.
Right.
That there's even an episode where they say towards the beginning of the episode, like, I don't know, I'm kind of worried about him. That's just regular Kevin. No, he's getting worse every year.
Right.
So when I think of someone,
I think that was the episode where the why use more word when less word do trick?
Because mechanic understand what I say.
Yeah.
So immediately who came to mind for me? I know there's going to be some attributes that I'm leaving out when casting Kevin Malone from a wrestling pool.
Right, of course.
But I think of an oversized person that says dumber and dumber shit every year. I think exclusively of Glenn Jacobs.
Okay.
I don't think of Kane.
Right. No, Glenn Jacobs.
Glenn Jacobs.
I actually went and I'm forgetting the character's name now. Was it Joseph Park? Was that Abyss's?
Yes.
That's who I was thinking.
The lawyer.
Yes, the lawyer Joseph Park, who's a bad lawyer, much like he's a bad accountant.
Park.
That was where my mind went.
That's
Kane
a good
is
one.
funnier. I think.
Well, Glenn Jacobs.
Glenn Jacobs is funnier. I think mine is more accurate to the archetype.
Joseph Park has the sweetness.
Yes.
That Glenn
he's
Jacobs
lovable.
Doesn't.
No, he doesn't.
He's just good to say as a joke, maybe for social media play.
Yeah. I don't know. I think Joseph Park. I think if I had to pick
Joseph
between
Park.
the two, I think Joseph Park, it's the appearance, it's the buffoonish nature, the desire to like be taken seriously.
Some silly talk,
Some
just
silly
the way that he speaks.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's a good one.
By the way, do you know about the like the ongoing conspiracy and contemplation that he's a secret genius, Kevin Malone?
Oh, really?
Yeah. That literally was like so he's like this idiot savant kind of guy, and he was so bored by humanity that he just like he puts on this character for the amusement of himself to see how much he could get away with in the there's all of these like fun conspiracy theories, and we were going to learn that.
Isn't that undone by the end of the show?
Oh yeah, well they make a hard turn and they decide to like do something different with the character, but it was like contemplated at one point in the writers room.
Amongst the writers.
Yeah, yeah. It was like
okay.
it was at one point where it was like what's his history? Because at some point we learned that like he got his job from his uncle, and he was like a nepotism hire. But that like, yeah, we weren't entirely sure. Yeah.
I'm glad that it is the way it is.
Oh, it's fucking perfect.
I don't need a big reveal like that
Right.
to be the case, like,
Yeah.
nah, that undoes it. It's more fun for him to just be this big, dumb, lovable lug.
I feel like I kind of have a little Kevin Malone right here. This is our house is Kevin Malone right here. Say hi, buddy. He's just so dumb.
Yeah.
He's real cute. By the way, if you're listening to this, I'm talking about the dog, not Scott Narber.
Could have been your fiance. Could have been all kinds of things.
He's so cute, but good God, is he just the dumbest dog ever?
Bookstore's a big old dummy.
He's real dumb. He's real special. I love him. I love him so much.
You love him because he's dumb?
It does add a little bit of charm. Yeah, there's a little bit of sweetness to his stupidity. Don't look at him. He's gonna bark. I'm joking. Alrighty. Yeah, I know. Joseph Park, I think, is
that's a solid pick.
It's almost like the closest thing to actually Kevin Malone we got in wrestling. And there have been a lot of them.
Yeah.
But
so in that island still of accounting,
we've got Angela and Oscar.
Yeah, we got Angela Martin.
Do we want to think of them as, because they are like, we learn like they are best friends. They start not realizing that they are actually best friends. And they have a sort of
best friends, or they're best friends.
They find
it best friends.
I think they're best friends. I think that's part of their arc by the end of the movie. By the end of the show, they're best friends. They live together. Like they're the ones who have each other's back the most, even though that they're bicker and at their core.
I think they end up being good friends, but I don't think they're best friends.
Okay, I agree to disagree, but okay,
because they're not going to keep hanging out like when they don't have to. They don't.
I don't know. Maybe
in the life that Angela and Dwight will have.
Right.
Is Oscar coming over all the time because they're best friends?
I don't know. Maybe.
Come on.
Depends on if things work out with the senator. So who do you want to do first?
Well, Angela Martin. I think we go with her first.
Okay.
Played by Angela Kinsey in the show. Very petite. Very prudish.
Yes, she's a what's the word? Pious.
Sure. Another P word.
Incredibly pious.
She's obsessed with cats. Oh, Teddy Hart.
Teddy Hart.
Some of these jokes
I don't get it.
Are just for the.
I don't get it. Sorry, that's just for you in the chat.
All right. She's very Christian.
Was that a pussy joke? Is that what that was? I said pushy. The jokes were very pushy. Okay.
He has a lot of cats. He breeds cats.
Oh, didn't know that. No idea.
Then what do you know about Teddy Hart?
I don't know.
Spiky hair?
Yeah, it's kind of it.
Okay. Not the cats that he comes to the rings with cats and fucking has cats everywhere.
Yeah, no idea.
It's a wrestling show, everybody.
That's why we're casting The Office.
So yeah, I mean, an easy pick would clearly be like a Right to Censor Ivory.
Right.
Would be the prudish Molly Holly.
Right.
But that seems a little on the nose.
I mean, if you want to do the cat bit, they were doing the cat thing with Natalia for a while.
Sure.
The cat ears.
Sure. But I've never heard Angela fart.
Catalia. Yeah. So do you have somebody better than that, or
better than Teddy Hart?
No, better than the Right to Censor ladies.
Well, Molly Holly wasn't in Right to Censor.
I know, but you said okay. Go ahead.
Just one lady in Right to Censor, and then the other one was just another character who's quite prudish.
I mean, there is something to Molly Holly because they, much like Angela, they try to like present something, but at their core, like pretty hot. Like you could try all you want to make it seem like it's not a hot lady. That's a hot lady. Both of them.
Please explain.
Well, because I feel like they try to present Angela in like this very all the gray sweaters, the muted tones.
Yeah.
But like she's hot. Like Angela Kinsey is a hot woman.
Well, they all talk about it in the office, like, oh, she's hot, but
right. And
she's no fun.
And Molly Holly, they like try to like make her plain gear, pull her hair back, no makeup. But yeah, she's still pretty hot.
Okay. Are you feeling Molly Holly?
I'm
I know you wouldn't wait 20 minutes in line to meet her. But
I'm struggling to come up with somebody better at the moment, but let's see if we can.
Abaddon. Because you look at it and you go like,
also a religious zealot,
hot.
which is for Satan instead. Yeah.
Undeniably
I'm trying
hot.
to
As
think
much
of,
as she tries to cover it up.
Trying to think of, are there any other wrestlers who kind of have that like archetype of like being I'm not gonna say conservative or prudish, but like being reserved. Because I think Angela Martin's whole thing is that she's reserved, but she's also kind of a bitch, and there's that part of it too, where it's like, oh, that flip can switch at any given moment in time.
Miss Hancock.
Who is Miss Hancock?
Stacy Keibler in WCW.
Oh, I didn't watch
Ruler.
any of that. That's good. Oh, wait a minute. What about Blue Pants as the librarian?
Blue Pants as the librarian.
Wasn't Blue Pants? I forget her name.
Leva Bates?
Yeah, wasn't Leva Bates the librarian when AEW started? One of the two librarians?
Oh, I see what you're saying. Because you're saying multiple things. I'm like, wait, what?
Oh, no, not like a librarian.
You're like, yeah. What about Kane, the Isaac Yankem?
Yeah.
What?
Yeah, Molly Holly's pretty good. I feel like we've put her in something before.
I feel like we have too.
We cast her quite a bit.
She's castable.
She is castable.
What can you say?
I mean, okay. What about Vicky Guerrero?
No.
Yelling "excuse me" at people. kind of a Karen.
It's I see where you're going.
You can't get past it.
I can't get past it because it's not a like Vicky is loud and obnoxious, and Angela's not this. Angela's fucking cruel and will cut you quietly. And there's that great line that
what about
when Pam has it's early in the show, and Phyllis says like to Pam, "Oh, thank you, I got the wedding invite. I saved the date." And then Angela says, "I didn't get to save the date." And then it cuts to a talking head of Pam going, "Yeah, I just didn't want to invite someone to my wedding who called me a hussy."
So good.
Just shit like that.
So
like,
good. Yeah.
That's not Vicky Guerrero.
No. What about Stephanie McMahon?
Not the current one.
No. But
so
like
you're talking like the
kind of like
the Macho Man Stephanie McMahon.
Damn it. This is a tough one. I think this is the first like really hard one.
To not just choose Molly Holly.
Yeah, or also like even Molly Holly's like, it's not perfect. You know what I mean? It doesn't like, it's not like all there, but it's closest there.
Well, let's put a pin
in it. I'll put a little asterisk next to it. All right. What about Oscar?
So this is a tricky part sometimes when it comes to these, is going like, all right, sometimes the race plays a factor.
Right. It's tough to,
because Michael Scott makes it such a point like to not be able to avoid talking about it, that it becomes part of the trait of the character.
Also sexuality too, where it's like, do we pick, there's not a lot of openly gay wrestling.
But Oscar wasn't openly gay in the beginning for sure.
No, that's a good point.
That's something we find out later amongst the show. So
Maven?
Is he?
There's a lot of rumors. People think that he's gay. I think he did an episode of his YouTube show recently where he addressed it, but he didn't say that he was. He just said like, it doesn't bother me. Like, yeah, that's not what this is about.
Doesn't bother me to be gay?
That's not what yeah, exactly. What are you saying, you weirdo?
It doesn't bother me to just, if one slaps me in the face, like, doesn't bother me.
Like you're really close to riding that bigotry line, but the fact that you made a video about it is a problem. But anyway,
he does like talk about pay, right? Like what wrestler can
he's always talking about.
He's good with numbers.
Good with numbers.
I think he dresses nice.
He does dress. He's a pretty stylish guy.
Oh, Maven so far is a front runner.
That was just a pop in the head kind of thing. Who else you got?
I mean, I didn't have in my back pocket. Now it's hard to just get Maven out my brain.
Right.
But that's just an ongoing thing.
Yeah, I feel like it's somebody who's kind of a know-it-all type. Is there somebody who's a wrestling know-it-all who maybe is right a lot, but they're also kind of fucking annoying when they're right? A Cornette, maybe. But
no,
you know what I'm saying? Like there's that level of like, because sometimes he's pretentious, even though it's like, okay, we get it.
That's a good.
He's bookish
trait, because I had one for other qualities, but now we're going down that rabbit hole. So I'll write this down so I don't forget it.
Like he is loyal, you know, but he's also first to talk shit. He loves some
correcting
gossip.
And he loves gossip. He loves actually.
Right.
A wrestling know-it-all that I'll point it out and just kind of be. I feel like that's in the category now of like the wrestling nerds, right?
Right.
Like,
and that's when we're getting into gimmick.
potentially like an Xavier Woods.
Right. Ooh, Xavier Woods is a good one
when
too.
it comes to just the like, I know, and hey, Brad Maddox was in that room.
All right.
You know?
All right. Let's not. Thank you very much.
Just in case you forgot.
By the way, unrelated
unicorn
sidebar.
Horns. Are we really dealing with unicorn horns?
Unrelated sidebar. I have somebody for the aforementioned Jesse Ventura later on if we get there. Like another character that I thought, I know
that Jesse Ventura could play.
Yeah, totally. That fits the archetype for. But anyways, yeah, I don't know. I'm struggling to come up with someone better than Maven as well.
Well, so Maven, Xavier Woods, someone that fits in the category of like the sexuality part of it all.
Right.
That I also think is clean cut, maybe good with numbers. I don't know. Anthony Bowens.
Okay. All right. Now, is it only because of sexuality?
I mean, look a little bit too. I don't know what ethnicity Anthony Bowens is.
No, but yeah,
we have
he's a man of color, and yeah.
Yes. But we don't have a lot of the other attributes because I think we kind of know him as a two-dimensional character at this point.
Right. Yeah. I don't know that I like it better than Maven. I think there's something. I don't know
if I like a lot of things better than Maven.
Yeah, I don't know. I think I go Maven with it.
All right.
I think I lean into my gut instinct. So far, my gut instincts have done me well here.
They've done you well.
So the last. Oh wait, so that's all of accounting, and we can put a pin if we don't come up with anything better for Angela moving forward. Should we go to sales or should we go to some?
I'm going to jump outside of the office.
I was going to say, do you want to go to some secondary characters?
Jan Levinson,
formerly
Gould.
Jan Levinson Gould.
I got one.
Okay.
And this sometimes it's just by look, you know?
Yeah, no, I get it. Sometimes
like that's why Anthony Bowens is kind of in that category. Karen Jarrett.
I'm struggling to see her in my head, in my mind's eye.
You've got 3 monitors, one of which I keep staring at and hurting my brain.
Karen, see, it's a lot of turning though. Bookstore's on my lap. Is it spelt with a K? Okay.
No, JARRETT.
Oh, wait. Kurt Angle's ex-wife?
Yeah.
That's what it says. It says Karen Jarrett, American actor, Kurt Angle's ex-wife.
Wait, sorry, Jeff, you get no credit for being current husband.
Share screen. This is what it says on Google. See it right there? American actor.
I don't know why you'd put that in there like that, though.
Okay. I'll give it to you.
That's Jan Levinson.
Yeah, I'll give it to you.
That's a current wrestling Jan Levinson in the world.
I was when the second you said Jan Levinson, my mind first went to the ring announcer, who's a country star as well.
Oh, Brandy Rhodes.
No, god damn it.
Justin Roberts.
I hate you sometimes.
Howard Finkel.
Karen Angle. I was like, whose ex-wife was that again?
Anymore.
Yeah, I know. Karen Jarrett. All right. I got another somewhat outside of the office character. Todd Packer.
Yeah, I got.
Who do you got for Todd Packer?
I got 2 contenders for Todd Packer.
Alrighty. Because
Todd Packer is a gentleman who worked previously with Michael Scott.
Yep.
Big time jokester.
Oh yeah, and inappropriate,
off-color jokes.
People don't like him around the office at all.
Rubs people the wrong way.
Unlikable.
Do you want my solid choice or like a contender?
Let's go to your contender first.
Vince McMahon.
That was my first thought as well.
Because there's the episode where there's a mystery shit inside Michael's office.
Yep.
And he doesn't know who it is. It makes him mad.
Yep.
And then later finds out it's Todd Packer. Thinks it's hilarious.
Yep. That was my first gut instinct. Problematic guy we don't really want around anymore.
But and that Michael Scott wants to be this guy.
Right. Tony Khan.
So
it's pretty good.
It's pretty good. But I think But I think my real answer is Jim Cornette. Because Jim
that's better. That's
funny.
better. And
Vince is like a guy who's, a tough guy and a jock who's talking to everybody, but he's not the funny guy. He's not the inappropriate funny guy.
Right. I've lost my chair to the dog.
That Jim Cornette, certainly hits that note.
No, you're right.
All
You're
the
100%
time.
right. Also,
And
like,
that doesn't necessarily like Top Hacker doesn't necessarily like Michael Scott,
no.
but he likes that someone wants to be around him and will laugh at all the jokes and do everything. But he's out of reach.
Yeah.
As Jim Cornette is for Tony Khan. He's out of reach. He can't have him.
It fits thematically a little bit too well to go any other way. Alrighty. I got somebody that's also somewhat out of the office, secondary character, late series, but
late series.
But I think that, listen, I was a fan of the show in its entirety. There was not a season that I thought was a quote bad season. I know unpopular to some, but Robert California.
Jesse
the Body Ventura. Because he's always talking about being the fucking Lizard King, and he's out there and he's hypnotic and he kind of has people's numbers. He's eccentric. He has like this powerful presence that people just kind of listen to him when he's around.
Yeah, but he's 99% sex driven.
Well, everything is sex. Okay, all right.
Ventura doesn't
Sure.
exude that.
Sure, that's fair. That's fair.
Man, you jumped.
I guess I know. Listen, I was just thinking of people outside the office. You're the one with the list. I don't have the list. I'm pulling shit in my butt, right?
Oh,
yeah.
Your dog's back there.
Yeah, I know. He's my lumbar pup.
I see where you're going with Ventura there, but
I guess I kind of got stuck on the Lizard King line, and that made me go, yeah, that's Ventura.
Sure. But yeah, Robert California, played by James Spader,
so good,
is just sex.
Yeah.
It's all sex and bodies and the potential threesome with Pam and Jim that they were not clued in on and had to cancel and do. An aura of sex and power. I mean, now we're getting into Vince territory.
Nope. No.
Okay. I'm sorry that you find it upsetting in real life that this exists.
Because he's not. Yeah, but Robert California, it was never forceful. It didn't come from a place of like problematic dominance.
Did you see that house?
Yeah, his wife bought it for him.
Mm-hmm.
It was all his wife's money, remember?
See, another powerful person in charge, sex drives them and as the motivating factor. But he's too overt.
That's the thing, is like
the characters I'm thinking of are too overt with it compared to a Robert California.
Right.
Because I went, oh, Godfather.
Yeah, no, because that's the thing, is like he's more like a suave magician than he is like because he's mind games.
Rick Rude?
Okay. All right.
Definitely judging people like he brought Robert California brought the winners and the losers. Like he brought the winners to a lunch with them.
Right. Although he didn't necessarily.
He didn't call them all you fat, Scranton, out of shape.
That's fair. That's
hogs.
Fair. I like it. You got some other secondary characters?
Sure. We can another secondary character. I mean, you can think of that sort of back wing of characters, like in the back.
And then we'll come
annex.
back. Yeah, we'll come back. Oh yeah, we gotta do the annex. That's right. And then we have to do
we got some other majors,
Sales and Pam, to finish it off.
So in the annex we got Toby Flenderson.
Toby, HR. Nobody likes him, but he is not unlikable.
Not unlikable, and I think some people like him. Like,
you're right.
Pam likes him. Like some of the people that are just normal people like him just fine.
But he is
as a coworker.
He's a little off-putting though.
Yeah, they don't want to
desperate.
They don't want to hang out with him outside of work.
Matt Cardona.
That's pretty good. It's just I'm
trying to think, because he's also like an easy punchline for people.
Yeah,
and obviously maybe not modern day Matt Cardona, but
it's the energy though.
Yeah,
that Toby Flenderson has.
Right.
That is just like weak and just so.
That's true.
Small,
which isn't common in wrestling, that outside of managers and shit.
Yeah, so that's tough to go like Matt Cardona.
Right.
Very loud. Very.
Yeah. No, you're right.
If he were in the library, he'd be like, "I need a book." Jesus Christ. So yeah, that Toby energy. That also we got to keep in mind. Michael Scott or Tony Khan fucking hates.
Right.
Can't stand him. Everything he does. He's not funny. He's always trying to shut down all the fun and all
right.
You're just policing everything. That's no fun. Man, he drives Tony Khan up the wall. Too bad CM Punk just doesn't quite fit that.
I was going to say, not that it's a short list at this point, but CM Punk's at the top of it. I mean, is it just Nick Khan?
No, I don't think it's a con for Khan.
No, it's not a con for Khan.
But someone who's just, always going like, hey, everybody, hold on. These are the rules. This is what we got to do. This is what we got. This would be the appropriate thing of the office. Simmer down.
I feel like this is like kind of an 80s wrestler gimmick, though.
Okay.
I don't know who. I mean, I don't know, a Bob Backlund type. Like there is something to the like a kind of like nerdy guy who's like, maybe a little bit. But again,
a lot of 80s nerds.
But again, he's also just he's also nerdy. He's not confident. He has no confidence. I think that's the defining feature of all of the things we've mentioned. Absolutely no confidence whatsoever. And in wrestling, you cannot succeed with no confidence. So that's going to be a tough one. But there's got to be somebody who fits this.
James Ellsworth.
Done. Writing it down. Perfect. Great. James Ellsworth is a perfect Toby Flenderson.
Okay. Kelly Kapoor.
And okay, Kelly Kapoor. All right.
Back in the annex as well.
Yep.
A lot of character growth as we continue on with her character that initially very reserved.
Yeah.
Almost as though a documentary was being shot. So
right.
like her personality didn't come out.
No, yeah. Until she realized she could just be herself. Like literally
just like
decided to just
pop culture obsessed.
Right.
Just into fads and like what's the latest and coolest while just out in the middle of Scranton, Pennsylvania, where none of that shit's happening.
Right, of course.
And super obsessed with any guy that is into her.
Boy crazy for sure.
And just goes all in. If Ryan's into her, she's all in on Ryan, talking about babies and getting married. And then if it's I'm blanking on his name at the moment, in the warehouse.
Yep.
Later.
Oh God damn it.
It's right there.
Nope, that's his name.
Craig Robinson plays him.
Daryl, thank you. Yes.
Yeah, Daryl, that when they started dating, like same thing, like crazy, and then trying to get Ryan jealous. And so, this without the Indian part of it, because as I said before, like the race sometimes plays
sort of
into it, but the energy matches of Alicia Fox, of what you're saying earlier.
100%. That is so good.
It does match. I'm seeing though if we can explore and potentially we find someone else, because I feel like we've had a couple of.
The only other people that I could think of would be like
Mickie James early on.
I was actually going to say Chelsea Green.
Sure.
It's sort of the like bubbly everybody loves me. That's a lot of gimmicks though. At some point in time, I don't think they're better than Alicia though. God, Alicia is such a good character to cast. We put her in everything. Somebody who's like really kind of the time, of the moment, but maybe not as cool as she thinks she is. Sasha Banks.
Let me see.
I still think Fox is better though than Banks.
I did put down Mercedes Moné for Kelly Kapoor. Right?
Yeah. That's
she thinks she's super hot shit and people aren't
into the fads,
into her and into all that. So
she's probably like, my cousin is Snoop Dogg.
Yeah, not Sasha Banks.
No.
Mercedes Moné persona.
I think maybe that's better. Now that we've said it, I think it's better than Alicia Fox.
Okay.
People are going to be so angry at us.
Yeah, well, she has fake cheers for her name when she comes out and no one's actually cheering her name.
Who else is back in the annex? It's just the two of them until, eventually we've got to get Ryan back.
Ryan moves all over the
Ryan's
office.
all over the place. Well, let's keep him there.
Yeah. So Ryan Howard, such a crazy arc for this character.
By the way, this is what I was going to say for Tony Khan. Like when we first thought this up, and I was like Ryan, and when we were doing names for him, I'm like, what's his character name? I was like, oh, that's a good Tony Khan guy.
Starts as the temp,
showing
up, and then works his way up to what? He gets.
He's
reception first.
I don't remember
Like,
the order.
He does a lot of stuff, then ends up like running.
Yeah, he ends up like as a manager of a regional manager above, like on behalf of the company above Michael Scott,
working in New York, doing corporate stuff, like, and then tries to steal from the company, but then ends up still working for the company.
Right, gets fired and rehired as a temp. By Michael, because Michael loves him. He does also
start their own company,
bail with Michael Scott Paper Company as well.
Initially, when I was thinking about this, I was like Triple H, but it doesn't really fit. It just the growth
but a young Triple H kind of does.
Yeah, it's just hard to squeeze that in.
No, you're right.
Just the trajectory of the story, but the traits of who he is doesn't really work. But Ryan's a tricky one to nail down. Is like, who is Ryan Howard as a character, other than someone who's seemingly never happy with whatever it is, wants to be like high status guy, but then even that, the glory days, he'll live on that. He won't go back out and achieve it again.
Right.
He's all over the map.
He is. He really is.
It's like he wrote the show and put himself in all the cool spots that he wanted. But he also,
it's actually the opposite of that. It's actually they had to keep writing him out of the show because he was needed, like, in production.
Oh, really?
Yeah. So the same thing with Tobe. Like, there's a reason why all of the people who are writers as well as actors are in the annex.
Right.
So that way they don't have to be on set for other people's shit. But also they kept having to come up with ideas of ways to get them off when they were needed elsewhere. When it was like, you needed, like, production needs you for the week, so you just can't be in this episode, that kind of stuff.
Okay.
So that happened a lot with those characters.
Interesting.
But you are right, though. It is a tough one.
Because I think what we could ultimately land on.
My laptop's going to die.
Oh
no.
It
says I have 46 minutes. I think we're good. I think we'll survive.
So I think ultimately what we can land on is maybe kind of the earlier set of what Ryan is of. He wants the pretty girl. He wants the better job, but this isn't it. He knows he's going to college. Like, he wants something better, and he wants to be that cool guy.
Right.
Like, ultimately he wants to be that corporate New York guy and be telling everybody else, like, yeah, I'm in New York.
This has inspired me. This has inspired me with somebody, but are you leading to something?
I'm inspiring you right now is what I'm doing.
A young Miz.
A young Miz?
Yeah.
Isn't Miz still just desperately trying to be that guy?
Great. but yeah, I'm thinking of the, like.
Yeah, I think Miz
is a good one.
Miz is a really good one.
Miz is a good one.
Look at you. Look at that gut.
Should we jump to? We should probably jump to sales. Yeah. Unless it's all right. Before we jump to sales, because we'll do sales and we'll wrap up. But is there any?
And our reception.
That's what I meant. Yeah. Well, yeah. Is there any other secondary characters that would just be really fun to cover really quickly? Who are kind of like recurring.
Sure. Just thinking in the moment.
I mean, Moj. That's Amish Roadkill, right? That's an easy one. That's easy as it could be.
Sure, I'll give you that one. Even though Mose is totally unthreatening in every way.
Sure, that's a fair point. Some other secondary characters who we see. Oh, the guy who's their first regional boss. What's his name?
David Wallace?
Yes, David Wallace.
He's really good at drums.
David Wallace. He's like the only guy that they take seriously until we don't take him seriously anymore. He starts the show at like the top of being a real human professional. And then at some point he's like literally coming up with fucking products with his kids and
playing the drums and unemployed and all that stuff. But yeah, he's a career guy. He listens to Michael when we get insight because we watch him not in front of the boss that we're like, you shouldn't be listening to him, but hears the good in people and always gives multiple chances to all of these fucking weirdos.
Right.
But ultimately a really good person.
Yes.
Like he doesn't have any of these crazy outlandish qualities. He's just kind of a normal, like, okay guy.
Right.
You know, someone that comes to mind that I think of when I think that in the wrestling business, you know, a little bit not as mainstream, but he was on the main roster for a while. John Quasto.
You know what? I like Quasto as David Wallace. Oh, that's fun.
He gives so many people tries that shouldn't have another try in their life.
That's pretty fun. I like it. I like that a
Should we go to the group?
Yes, but I don't want to forget. Because if we go to sales, we might skip around Daryl, who doesn't end up there, but is warehouse.
Right.
So let's do Daryl.
Daryl's a key.
Yes.
So Daryl is a guy in the warehouse that for quite a long time, just like that's the job, that's the life.
And he's a workhorse.
He's a workhorse, and he's
reliable.
He's reliable, and while he may not necessarily care about the job that we see, like it's not his passion.
No, but he's good at it. He cares about being good at it.
He cares about being good at it, and it has it in order.
Yes.
Like when people come down and fuck it up, he's not pleased about it because it
his
runs
space.
Well.
Yes.
And they don't fuck anything up.
Right.
And then do we have to include what's her ex-fiance? Pam's ex-fiance, because he's down there too. Roy. If he did Robert California, we have to do Roy.
All right. Quick, come on. It's going to end up being so long.
This is on you.
Go ahead. So Daryl and Roy.
So Daryl then has a trajectory where then there's an opportunity where he can start to go into school and get a better job within the office. They'll pay for it because he's black.
Okay.
That's a direct. You say you watch all this shit. That's a Daryl moment.
Right.
That was when he's getting all excited.
Yeah,
because he's black and he sings it.
Right. I mean, there's something about, I don't know why, but I'm equating warehouse to office I'm equating that to NXT to main roster. I don't know why, but like that's where my brain went to.
Okay.
And I'm trying to think of like an NXT guy who is there, who's just like putting in the work. He's fine. He's doing good. He's going to stick around. He's probably not. Remember he came in and auditioned. God, I'm such a fucking douchebag performer. He interviewed for a higher position, but then he like didn't quite have what it took. I don't know why the first thought that's coming to my mind is Johnny Gargano.
What?
As like, he's just there. He's doing good. People like him, but he's not gonna.
I don't believe that's
make
true.
Waves. No, okay. I don't know. Anyways, that's the type. That's the archetype. That's the person.
Well, the other quality of Daryl that's very fun is Michael Scott goes to him because he wants to always know about the black experience or like how he can be more in tune.
Cooler, yeah.
And Daryl fucks with him all the time.
That's a good point. Oh yeah, Daryl. He does have a little bit of that Jim, like messing with you. Yeah. There's a little bit of that for sure.
Like, oh, this guy will believe anything I say. Right. Oh, okay. Well, guy in other territory, you're not one of us.
Right.
We're the shipping and delivery people, so I'm gonna fuck with you. And tells him totally wrong shit.
Right. Okay.
And then Michael feels good about it. So who's someone that tells them like it is, but it ain't?
Yeah.
That messes with people's minds, tells them about realities that aren't really there. That's kind of managerish, right? Like telling your client something that's not really there. Paul Heyman?
Yeah. No, I think Paul Heyman has too much. I think there's too much going on with Paul Heyman as a person and character to cover Daryl. I think Paul Heyman's too big for that, personally.
Yeah, because Daryl eventually got that job at was it sports?
Yeah,
like, athlete.
There was a name for it. It was terrible. Athlete. Yeah, it was a terrible name.
But Paulie was just a guy with a cell phone back in the day.
I see what you're doing there. Can I pivot and go not just to keep black characters black, which I know we said we don't want to do that, but MVP? It's more like, he's in the game for a while. It didn't quite have it. They even had the whole storylines about how he kind of like didn't have it.
He just had a losing streak.
Well respected. Yeah.
But he came in as MVP.
Yeah, of course. Yeah. He is an MVP.
I'd sooner put him as Idris Elba's character.
All right.
But I don't see. Yeah,
I don't know. I don't make the connection between what you're doing with Daryl and Paul Heyman, but I'll concede to it for the sake of putting it down. If we can't come up with anybody better.
Okay. Roy, the fiance of Pam that also working in the warehouse, and
I'm sorry. Before we move on to Roy, is there any wrestler who's also just plays piano? Maybe it's as simple as that. Keyboards. Plays keyboards.
Not that spring to mind.
All right, great. Roy,
ex-fiance of Pam, who was interested in hanging out with his buddies, not really listening to anything that she wanted to do.
Yeah, kind of a typical bro.
Yeah, just
But then he makes good.
out of the Midwest,
Way late,
right?
yeah.
Or Ohio, or where are they? Fucking
They're in Pennsylvania, yeah.
What is that considered? The East,
The Northeast, yeah.
Northeast. And yeah, just what is it? A high school romance?
Yes, I believe. High school or college.
Just a big lug that doesn't really see what he's got until it's gone.
Oh, I thought that was a setup for a name. The way you deliver that was like,
well,
blah, blah,
sometimes
blah.
it is. And
Blah, blah,
it's
blah.
like,
Yeah.
I got this.
I'm stuck on like meatheads now. There's something about that, like the archetype. Yeah.
As it should be for Roy. Kind of an angry drunk.
Alex Riley.
Smashes up the bar. What?
Alex
I need to watch
Riley.
more wrestling.
It's just kind of like,
just because he wears a Letterman's jacket and doesn't give up the good old days.
Yeah, exactly. And he's also just sort of like, yeah, nothing. You're not unlikable, but nothing's gonna come of this.
Well, John Cena pushed him around, so I don't know. Roy, just a big guy, big football player, just not listening to
Mojo Rawley.
What era are you stuck in?
I'm not stuck in any era. I'm just thinking of names.
No, you're not. You're thinking of not names. These are not names at all. These are gone.
What's wrong with that one?
What's wrong?
Because he's kind of dumb.
Do we have to talk about what's wrong with Mojo Rawley?
All right, who do you
Does
got?
Roy stay hyped?
Kind of. For his jet ski. I mean, he's on a jet ski. This should be Bruce Barber Beefcake.
Yeah, I guess if I can't come up with anybody better, I'll adhere to your Mojo Rawley.
Great. All right. All righty.
So we got
Main cast.
a top three.
Are we going to add
no,
Andy?
we got 4.
Yeah, we got to add
I wasn't going to add Andy.
Oh, shit. All right. So,
because this is going on forever. I was just trying to do the original group of people.
Right. Oh, okay. Oh, yeah. We haven't even done. Yeah, there's too many people in the show. All right, great.
Yeah, that's
all right. We'll do whoever you want to do, and we'll skip whoever you want to skip.
okay.
We spent way too much time on Daryl and Roy.
We have Stanley Hudson, we have Pam Beasley, and we have Dwight K. Schrute.
And
that's who I'm
no
looking
Phyllis.
at. Oh, and Phyllis. Yes, Phyllis. What's the last name? Vance Lappin.
All right.
I got Phyllis.
Great. Who's Phyllis?
Dewdrop.
No.
Why?
Why? You tell me why.
Why you're saying no?
No.
To Dewdrop?
No. Why? Yeah, I'm saying why is Dewdrop Phyllis?
Because Dewdrop and Tony
also her name
Khan,
isn't Dewdrop. It's Piper Niven.
I don't want Piper Niven. I want Dewdrop.
Okay.
I bet Dewdrop and Tony Khan are the same age, but Dewdrop just looks older. Big lady.
Does she?
She's very quiet. No, I'm just joking about that.
Oh, I think Tony Khan looks way older than her.
Dewdrop is very quiet. There's not a lot of energy there, much like Phyllis.
Okay. I was gonna go,
and then she'd probably talk about her jugs.
I was gonna go Tamina.
Why?
Because of what you just said. Quiet, older lady, probably older than she looks. And doesn't say a lot.
But Phyllis isn't mean.
No, you're right. Nobody's meaner than Tamina.
Dewdrop?
All right, you're going Dewdrop.
You find it insulting for some reason.
Because I think that you bring it up in ways that are negative. That's why.
Why?
By the way, I love that you're like, you give me shit for coming up with Mojo Rawley. And you're like, what era are you in? And you say Dewdrop for everything.
I don't say Dewdrop for everything.
Dewdrop is your go-to joke.
It's a funny joke.
All right, so who's Dewdrop Stanley?
But she fits. Stanley, someone who doesn't want to be there, wants to get out of work all the time, and is just done with it. Tony Schiavone.
Lesnar. Oh. Okay, Tony Schiavone.
Brock Lesnar? That guy puts in the fucking work.
Tony Schiavone. That fits. He's definitely doing.
I bet he's doing a fucking crossword.
Doing crosswords underneath that.
Oh, this is great. This is terrific.
Dwight.
Oh, I got a Dwight.
Alrighty.
I got a Dwight.
Dwight.
The other two are a stretch. That I don't have those, but Dwight K. Schrute, just a guy that's odd.
Yep.
Probably a sci-fi nerd and just, like not threatening, but thinks they're threatening,
Right.
but just a total dweeb and weirdo.
Okay.
Wheeler Yuta.
I don't know why that works, but it
I
definitely
bet
works.
you put that hair on Wheeler Yuta and the glasses, and you go, yeah,
All right,
he
well,
looks like Dwight.
I got to remember that for the. I got to try to Photoshop
The Wanted sketch.
That's too much.
But it's Wheeler.
That's art. That's actual art I had to do versus just a Photoshop job.
Yeah, I think Wheeler Yuta he fits that glove. And then we've got our other two mains, our lovebirds. Will they? Won't they? Our Sam and Diane, Jim Halpert, and Pam Beasley.
Who is Jim?
Jim.
I feel like this is the easiest because, like, as a leading man, you have characteristics that are easy to put a wrestler's shtick onto.
Yep.
Because it's like, all right, who's a jokester? A lot of baby faces are jokesters. Wwho's like tall, good looking, mean mugging. Maybe has a problem with authority.
Not mean mugging, just
not
mugging.
Mean mugging. I'm sorry, mugging. Yeah. Like yeah.
One came to mind, and this was where I was kind of upset. Where I go, oh man, I broke the alive and dead because I think everybody we have is alive. But maybe this will just be inspirational.
I think Joseph Park is dead. Actually, technically, I don't think he exists anymore.
Park is up and running, and they're thriving.
Yeah.
Mr. Perfect, Kurt Hennig.
Kurt Hennig is Jim, just because of the eyebrows. He did the eyebrow a lot.
He's the biggest prankster behind maybe Mr. Fuji.
Right.
Which I don't know if Mr. Fuji would be the best Jim.
Right.
He could be up there in the top 5.
Right. I was going to go.
But the jokes and everything, and I have another jokester as well.
Well, I also have one.
Okay.
Owen Hart.
Yeah, that was my other one.
Yeah.
Both dead.
Is there a better one than either of those? And who's the best of the bunch?
But also that leading man quality. That sort of everyman and just good looking, and that nobody can resist him, and that he doesn't get mad. That's the other part. That's like he gets mildly upset, but he doesn't yell. He doesn't get mad.
I think. Yeah, Mr. Perfect, I think probably takes the edge over Owen.
Takes the cope.
It takes the cope over Owen. Although now that you just said that, I think Christian's also a good candidate for this as well.
Christian?
Yeah, why not?
I don't see it at all.
You don't see that?
No, because you're gonna have a blue dot over Jim's face.
Can we come up with anybody better?
That's a tough one.
It is a tough one.
As easy as it seems like these two would be to pick, for me it's difficult.
I think my problem is
because they're such good people, and we're picking from wrestlers.
Right. That's we always run into this problem.
If we were children, it'd be super easy because we wouldn't know the people at all.
Or it would just be like, I like when Sheamus makes fun of people, Sheamus or whatever.
Yeah, Sheamus did a joke that one time. He's cool.
Yeah, I mean, CM Punk also fits it. A little bit of the sort of like the lazy anti-authority kind of vibe that he has, where it's like doesn't give it his all. Like, obviously, we know him as a wrestler, not that case.
But he's a dick.
But he's kind of a dick. And we do establish that at some point, Jim is kind of a dick, but in like the cute TV romantic way.
Yeah. And so it's hard. Even a Cody, it's like, you're still kind of a dick and you cry a lot.
Yeah.
Jim doesn't cry a lot. Cries a little bit.
All right. So what about Pam then?
This one's really tough. Like,
because these characters doesn't exist in wrestling.
Yeah, this when you said young Stephanie, this was the only time where I go, yeah, young Stephanie being taken by the Undertaker,
right?
Putting on a cross and stuff. Like, yeah.
Oh, I guess I didn't mean that young, but yeah, sure.
Pre-boob job.
I think I was when I was talking about Angela. I think I was going with like corporate Stephanie, like like that era, like McMahon Helmsley era.
I see.
Because it was just about like the being like
with a boob job,
rigid and angry with a boob job. Yeah,
Angela would never.
She wouldn't.
Yeah, this is tough because this is again maybe a manager or like an announcer type,
or just like a wrestler who's just like. What about like Huggable Bailey? Her name is only Pam. Isn't it? I think her name is Pam. I think. I could be wrong. Bailey.
Bailey's actual name is Pam?
I think so. I could be wrong.
I don't know.
But yeah, I don't know, like when she was just like sweet and friendly and everybody just cared for her before she turned mean. I'm trying to think of like, because that's like, when I think of Pam, I think of like, I have like a protective nature of her.
Sure.
Or I'm just like, she's sweet, she means well, she wants everybody's friend.
Yep.
And like, I think that's a tough category.
She's too scared to go after what she wants to have, like as far as art or the job or love, and it's just like, no, everything's just as good as it's gonna be. Oh my God! What? Of course, Jon Moxley and Renee Paquette. There you go. There's our Jim and Pam.
That's actually pretty good.
Or would you say Dean Ambrose?
Yeah, no, we have to go Dean, because Mox is insane, and Dean like post Shield. Cracking jokes, the plant and stuff. Yeah,
with Dean Ambrose, and then what's her WWE name? Is it also a Renee?
No. Oh yeah, it was. It's
not Renee Paquette.
No, it was Renee Young. Renee Young.
There you go.
I think we did good work here. I think some of it's fucking absurd, but they always are.
Hey, sometimes some of the casting has to be a little bit out there.
Hey, you guys. Also, I was right. Bailey's real name is Pam. But yeah, find us on the social medias, join the Discord, yell at us about all the castings we got wrong. I'm sure we got tons of them.
And yell at us about the ones we got right.
Yeah.
These got episodes, some right. And if you want to make your own fan art of these, if like you want to make that fucking Dwight K. Schrute sketch where they're hunting him down, but you want to make it of Wheeler Yuta instead, or any of the, like, if you want to do mashups, make the art. We'll fucking post that on our socials and give you credit, all that.
Thank you guys for joining us. Before we go, we do have one very important piece of business, and that is, it is time for the Championship Palski Battle Royal for April. Scott Narver, I'm going to let you do the honors.
Oh, thank you.
You can't look at screens, but you can look at pieces of paper.
That's
Actually,
right.
I don't know why. Here, do you want to shake it? I don't know why I took the lid off for you like a weirdo. Current PWP champ, Mass Llama, thank you so much. I hope you enjoyed your reign. Maybe you'll retain. If you want to get in on this action, you got to head on over to patreon.com/PWPalskis.
I'm bummed you're not still rhyming.
What? Am I rhyming?
You were rhyming, yeah.
Oh, I didn't notice that. All right, Scott. Do the do.
I do the do. I got a name. I don't know the name. And the champion, the PWP champion for the month of April, and new PWP champ, Tony Griggs.
Tony Griggs, congratulations on your PWP championship victory. Looking forward to see what Tony picks for us. Fold it up real nice again. Just don't leave it in there unfolded like a monster. For the Watch Along Wednesdays,
Cookie Monster.
Once again, if you would like to have your name in the jar for the championship battle royal, well, head on over to patreon.com/PWPalskis. Head on over to the shop, pwpalskis.com. Snag yourself a nice shirt like this one I'm wearing right now, maybe a hat, mugs. We got t-shirts, phone cases, maybe all sorts of really fun stuff.
Eye patch soon, or 2 eye patches.
2 eye patches, one for Scott Narver and the other one for other Scott Narver's eye. Discord's completely free. Find us on all the socials. Dragon Wagon Radio is now on Blue Sky. You can find all the links to all this stuff at pwpalskis.com. We hope you had fun today. Oh wait, I got to do the thing. My laptop is going to die.
And his bladder's going to die.
All right, here we go. Thanks to our current Patreon Palskis: Adrian Avina, AJ0314, Alex Pierce, Andrea Beeler, Gilbert Short, Mass Llama, Mexican Stallion, Mickey Bell, Mike Lucas, Suicide, Tim Redbeard, Tom Hader, and new PWP champion Tony Griggs. Thanks to each and every one of you for your continued support of the show. We could not do the show without you. We hope you had fun listening to the program this week. It is always a blast hanging out with you, the Pro Wrestling Palskis.
Hey, thanks for listening to Dragon Wagon Radio. If you're enjoying this show, check out DragonWagonShop.com and get yourself some sweet merch while supporting your favorite indie podcast network. That's DragonWagonShop.com.
Dragon Wagon.